So let's be honest here, the 1 down difficulty is actually pretty difficult compared to the original Death Wish that we all knew and love and kind of grown accustomed to. So a lot of our builds for Death Wish, although they were still the best that we thought we could do, we now have to switch that mindset and try and make something that we've probably not made before, incorporating a few different things in there that we would never normally take, based on the fact that the enemies now deal a lot more damage, they take a lot more damage, and we only get 1 down before we grey, and then we're into custody. So there's a few things that you might have to tweak to your old Death Wish builds to make these builds more 1 down winnable. So today I'm going to bring you one that I've tried out, I've tested, I've got some gameplay at the end of me doing some Ukrainian jobs solo, so this is kind of a viable solo build. Didn't put the whole gameplay in there, but just so you know, I did end up completing the Ukrainian job solo with it, but I'll put in some interesting parts in there so you can see parts and elements of this at work. But let's get into it. Let's jump in. Let me show you what I'm working with here, and you guys can let me know in the comments after you've seen this whether it works for you or what you would change, because obviously a lot of this is subjective. So, as we do in every single one of my build videos, we always go into the perk deck first. This is a brief overview here. You can see also the brief overview of stats on the left. Yes, we're bringing Anarchist, and yes, that is going to be coupled with Frenzy. I love those two together, and at first when 1 down came out, I kind of didn't like Anarchist Frenzy builds. They seem to take away your armor as fast as regardless of how much armor you had, but I feel that this is the best option going forward. So let's quickly take a look into Anarchist. There are some interesting things in here that do need to be pointed out. Let's take a look to begin with. So this one is actually, there's some elements of this one that remind me of Armorer, and it's actually the middle paragraph there. When your armor gets depleted, you'll be immune to health damage for 2 seconds. This cannot occur for more than once every 15 seconds. So when the armor is gone, and we are getting 400 armor with this build, when the armor goes, you got 2 seconds to get the shit out of there. So it's kind of get out of town as soon as that armor goes, because literally you are like a glass cannon with this thing, and we'll get into it a little bit further down this run here, but you have so much less health. And because we're bringing Frenzy too, you've got so much less health at the same time with that also. So just going down here, we can skip this one, and this one, because it really comes into this end one here. 50% of your health is converted into 120% armor. So we'll see the result of that when we look at our armor. But our health, we'll also see a look at that in the stats. And then this one at the end here, dealing damage will grant you 10 armor. This can only occur once every 1.5 seconds. So this is kind of a mix between a hide perk deck and a go out and do damage perk deck. So your armor comes back really slow, but you get a lot back when it comes. But the more damage you do, the more armor you get back at the same time. And now we're gonna put this with Bullseye Aced, so we're gonna get our 10 armor back when we do damage every 1.5 seconds. Then we're gonna put that with Bullseye. But let's look at these stats in action when we look at the numbers here. So our armor is gonna go all the way up to 400, like I said, but our health, as a result of that, we get 50%. So our base health is 230. So when our armor's gone, we can take 230 damage before we're down. But with Anarchist, that goes down to 115. So when all this armor's gone, we got 2 seconds to hide before we start taking health damage, and then we have barely any health. So it's kind of a trade-off, but that's probably the whole point of the perk deck, is so it's not completely overpowered. So we'll get into the weapons at the end. Now let's take a look at the skills. So there's a few choices in here that you can or cannot do. Originally, when I was trying these builds out, I did go for Hostage Taker, but really that gives you health back. But when you're using Frenzy, you only start off with 30% of your health anyway, and when your armor's gone, you've barely got any health. So what's the point of regenning your health? Doesn't really make much sense. But there are some good ones in this one, which I normally never take, but are really useful. And you'll see in the gameplay at the end that using Joker, Partners in Crime, and Confident is actually a really good strategy here. What's also interesting is Forced Friendship on the bottom here. Not only do we get the cable ties, blah, 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 but when you get this ace, you and your crew gain 0.5 damage absorption for each hostage you have. So we needed this skill to get up a little bit further anyway, so we may as well ace it for the 3 points that it takes just to get that damage absorption. But it really makes you want to get the hostages down. You've got the cable ties to do it. Just get down as much as you can if there's hostages on the heist. Now then, Confident, we just increased the intimidation, no big deal. But this means that we can now convert 2 enemies when this is ace. So when we've got Joker, now we can actually convert them to fight on our side. Once this is ace, your convert enemy takes 55% less damage, and deals 200% more damage, which is absolutely amazing because we need some meat shields on this one, and that's pretty much the whole point of this, is get some extra bodies on the map to run into battle and take some heat off yourself, because it gets crazy. You either hide and then you just let these guys go and get ripped while you can kind of shoot from the sidelines, but then you take partners in crime. Having a converted enemy increases your movement speed by 10%. Now, this is going to be important because there's one key skill that I do not take in this whole thing, and I always swear by taking it, and it is in the fugitive tree here, ghost tree, sorry. I always usually take parkour for that 10 additional movement speed, but I'm not taking it. I'm getting that 10 back right here. So you've got to convert people in order for this to work. So your enemy takes 50% less damage, does not stack with Joker damage reduction, but it multiplies. Having converted enemy increases your health by 30%. So where we took that 50% health dip, we're going to get 30% back. So about another 40 health by having a converted enemy. So converted enemy takes an additional 50% damage, but does not stack with the Joker damage reduction, but it multiplies. So for example, if your enemy gets 100 damage, then it will take 50% less here. And then it will take a further, it obviously won't take 50% more, but it takes 50% extra, so about another 27% of that. So you're actually getting like a 70% damage reduction on the converted enemy here. So a little bit of math in there, but the most important thing about this is that you've got a couple of extra bodies on there that are going to help you out and take some damage. You'll see in the gameplay how that actually works. I had a spare point left over, so I took some weapon stability here. Enforcer, pretty standard stuff in here. I didn't take Transporter. Yes, you know what? I love throwing bags and everything. But you know what? Staying alive is more important than throwing bags, and I really needed those 2 points. So we're taking a shotgun with us, so always take Underdog in this too. We'll take any bonus that we can get. So a damage bonus that lasts for 7 seconds here we'll take, and then a damage reduction for 15% is actually really nice at the same time, especially when you're close quarters. Shotgun CQB for reload, shotgun impact for more damage, and then overkill is a must if we're taking shotguns on 1 down difficulty. This one here is going to give us a 75% damage increase for 20 seconds once we do a kill with the shotgun. And then of course, the tank section here is very important because we want to go all the way up to Iron Man. I spoke about bullseye and armor regen here, but resilience, armor recovery rate increase doesn't really have much effect on Anarchist, but we did want to get this ace reduced flashbang duration by 75%. Bullseye, so when we get headshots, because we're always going for headshots, you regen an additional 25 armor for every headshot. Cannot occur more than once every 2 seconds, so that on top of the 10 that we get from Anarchist every 1.5, that's how we're going to get our armor back. It comes back really slowly otherwise. And then you could probably get rid of this if you could, but we can't because we actually need that in order to get up to Iron Man here. And Iron Man Ace, total armor value is increased, which is helping us to get to that 400. And then, of course, Ace, it allows us to wear the ICTV, the tactical vest, which you'll see that we are going to be wearing. Then Scavenger Ace, so every 6th enemy you kill will drop an ammo box. Ammo is critical that I've noticed in 1 down difficulty. Because the enemies take so many shots to kill, that you're using so much more ammo than normal, and ammo is something that you're going to have to combine with the rest of your team and kind of come up with a strategy, who's taking ammo, who's taking meds, and all that kind of good stuff. So my guy is the ammo guy, so we have extra lead Ace 2, so we take 2 ammo bags and they're going to contain 50% more ammunition at the same time. Next we're going to go Technician and completely ignore it. Why the hell not? Now here we said Duck and Cover is going to give us stamina regen and also sprint faster at the same time. Not taking Parkour. Really wish I could, always do. There's not one build in my entire catalogue of build videos where I don't take some kind of movement skill like that, especially wearing the big vest. But it really makes you think, oh, I've got to convert these guys and get that 10% at the same time. So I keep myself honest to that. And then in Fugitive, we're going all the way up to Frenzy. So Martial Arts Basic, just to open the tree up and take 50% less damage from melees. Bloodthirst, this one's interesting. Every time you kill, you get an increase in your next melee. Not so good. But when you ace this one, when you attack, when you kill an enemy with a melee, you also gain a 50% increase in reload speed for 10 seconds. So I'm not really going for melee kills, but I just need to spend some points in order to get up here in the least possible way. And that's a really good one. So if you're close quarters and you manage to kill somebody, or if you kill somebody as you're trying to convert them or whatever it may be, you just get a quick 50% increase in reload speed, which is nice. Berserker is very important on this tree at the same time. So we got this ace. The lower your health, the more damage you do. When your health is below 50%, and it's always going to be because we're taking frenzy, we'll do up to 100% more damage with ranged weapons. So depending on where your health is within that 50% below, is the more damage you're going to do. So that's cool. And then frenzy, you only get 30% of your maximum health, blah, blah, blah. Damage taken is now reduced by 25%. So we're going to be taking 25% less damage than we normally would if we weren't taking this skill. But the trade-off for this one, similar to the trade-off with Anarchist, with the armor regen, we are just going to be getting a lot less health to begin with, and that is pretty much frenzy in a nutshell. So the final skill we're going to talk about is 9 lives. Now this is something that I would never ever take. Don't think I've ever used this one before. I usually basic this one if I'm going to do it and go up this tree here. But what basically this is not only do you get a 50% increase to your bleed out health, but 1 down. So the definition of 1 down is you go down once, then you're grey, so your next down is custody. You blaze through dock bags in that sense. So when you ace this, you gain the ability to get down 1 more time before going into custody. So essentially, the difficulty level should be called 2 down because you're allowed 2 downs before custody now, but I'm not going to say anything. Well, I just did. I've seen a lot of people run Feign Death and Messiah because obviously you're going to go down a lot. And instead of blazing through doctor bags, you can actually just get up of your own accord, or you can use these messiahs. And when you actually do use the doctor bag, you gain the messiah back again. So that's kind of a tactic that you could go. Went for no crit skills or anything like that. No feedback skills, no sentry skills, no technician skills here, no assault rifle skills. I would have liked fully loaded ace if possible, but really, I was you know it's bad when you get rid of parkour. And I think I got rid of parkour in order to get extra lead. I was at 5 points, and that was my 6th point that I needed. But that's pretty much it with the skills, and the main key of this is this tree here. You have to get those 2 guys fighting on your side. It really is what you need to get you through this. So finally, let's take a look at the weapons. So I'm taking the English longbow now. I did try this with, I mean, look at the name on that. That's a little ridiculous. I think I was just showing someone how to rename the thing. But I originally took this with the explosive bows, but then I decided for the actual English longbow. If you look at the damage with this thing, it originally gives 4,000 damage without the explosive bolt. Let's do that. Wrong one. So let's remove it. So let's see. So you can actually see, oh, I'm on the wrong one. So it does 4,000 damage, which is absolutely incredible. But I feel with this that you've got to be super accurate, and it draws back really slow. So I guess you can call it the reload time, but putting the arrow in, pulling it back, and setting off another shot seems to take forever. But the idea when you put the explosive arrow in, yes, you lose 2,600 on the damage, but you're still doing 1,400. But you can blast shields, take off dozer faceplates, and you can actually just blow it at the floor and throw people up in the air, pretty much like HE rounds on a shotgun. It's actually really effective. So it's not actually that bad. We are taking the maxed out ammo bags, so we are able to replenish these because we're not going to get them back, so they're going to blow up. It's not like if we take regular ones, once you kill someone, you can run over to the dead body and you pick it up. So we are going to need to replenish those at some point. And then for the secondary, we do need some kind of gun. I originally tried this build out with the pistol crossbow because I saw that the damage was so high, it was 750. Didn't really work out having a pistol crossbow and the English bow at the same time, so I actually end up going for the Judge. I do love the Judge anyway. I think it's a great gun. Throwing the buckshot on there for more damage. You can see my damage is over 200, which is high, and when you take into account we activate the Overkill skill with that 75% increase, well, 75% of that is pretty high. It's like 150, so we're going to be doing over 300 damage, plus we've got Berserker on top of that, so we're really doing a shit ton of damage with this when we're playing. Got the King's Crown on there for just a bit of accuracy and damage. Got the accuracy boost on there. I mean, it really makes no difference. Military laser module, because I just like how that looks. Definitely no sight on that bad boy. And then as far as the melee weapon here, I always like the buzzer or the knuckles because you can kind of stun them. It makes me feel like I can dominate better. I'm sure it has no difference whatsoever. And then Molotov, just to throw off those choke points a little bit, especially in those tight areas, is just to keep everybody at bay, keep them burning while you can reload or get your ammo bags and things like that. And then finally, the improved combined tactical vest, look, gives us a massive armor increase, gives us a health increase. Oh no, we lose the health from Anarchist, and then the rest is the rest, to be honest. So you guys let me know how this works out for you. I actually really enjoy this build. Obviously, 1 down still isn't easy with any kind of build that I can find, at least. But this one for me seems to be the most sturdy as of yet. There's no real hidden gems or anything like that. The 1 down difficulty pretty much is a grab your meat shield, send them out there, and then hide and kind of do the objectives when the waves start to slow down a little bit. But that is it from me. Let me know in the comments what you would change if you think it's completely ridiculous. And that is it. There'll be more 1 down builds coming, I am sure. And I will see you guys in that next video.